Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good morning, and welcome to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish, and I am honored to be the host of this particular program on the Divas That Care Network. You know, we've been doing this program now for almost 10 years, and I have absolutely been inspired by all the amazing women that have come onto our program in the last, 10 years. And, today's guest this is her second time coming on our program. And you know what? She is such an absolute fantastic young diva that is doing extraordinary things. She has been inspiring our listeners. And I'm just excited to hear what she's been up to, because that's what it's all about, is hearing the journeys and seeing where they've come from and where they're going. And as I said, it's absolutely inspiring to have them on here. So if you've just tuned in for the very first time, please check out all of our divas and our amazing hosts at divasthatcare.com. There's some extraordinary programs, and these women are out there to inspire and empower all of you listeners. Today's guest, as I said, our young diva that I'm welcoming back, is Caitlin McInerny. And I'm just excited to have you back, Caitlin. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
Well, Caitlin, I know that you're very busy. You've got a lot of things on the go. Would you mind spending a couple of minutes reintroducing yourself to our divas?
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Caitlin McInerny. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a freshman at NC State University. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, in a suburb called Mountain Brook, where I have 2 younger siblings and 3 rescue dogs. And so one thing that's pretty special about my upbringing is that my younger sister is special needs. And so growing up, my childhood was a lot different than that of my friends. And I had to learn the values of caregiving, empathy, patience from a lot younger age than my friends did. And so the summer before my junior year, I was working on my Girl Scout Gold Award project. And I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to spend the year working on. And I realized that while my sister had a lot of amazing services that helped her, I, as a sibling, had my own unique experiences that kind of didn't have any services for. And I realized that there were probably other siblings out there who had similar experiences. So that summer, I began Special Siblings, which is now a 501c3 nonprofit, which has won a couple of national awards and is now based in Birmingham, but also has a chapter in Raleigh where I'm in school, which is pretty exciting. And so that's kind of like where my experience in service and leadership came from. But, really it came from a passion that I had because of my childhood and my experiences growing up, which is pretty exciting.
I think that's absolutely amazing. And to now that you've received national awards for that, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Is this something that you're wanting to expand then across the United States?
Definitely long term. I think it's important to, the mission is more personal, and I think it's important too to have strong bases where the chapters are. And I think definitely if it was able to catch on and kind of grow that strong base nationally, I think it would be an amazing service that's so needed definitely across the country.
I love that. And, to all of our listeners that have had the opportunity to talk to or listen to Caitlin in the past, Caitlin is in her first year of university, as she was mentioning. And that's extraordinary because you started this while you were in high school, and now you're continuing to do this through university. How are you able to balance that? Because I know that your workload is quite hectic because you are in statistics and genetics because your hope is to pursue medicine. So tell me a little bit about that, because that's got to be a challenge in itself.
Yeah, that's a great question. Balance is super important. I think one thing that helps me stay balanced is definitely organization skills and time management skills, like prioritization, having good list skills and study habits. And I think it's important too to practice self-care, which sounds like it would take more time out of your day, but I think it's so important to practice regular exercise and meditation, and I think those things can make your mind a lot more balanced and focused so that you are able to spend your day doing more things than you would otherwise. And I think that's been really important for me, and so that instead of lounging around or taking a nap, and my mind is focused enough so that I can balance both, doing special sibling stuff and also my schoolwork, which I think is really important. And self-care, is kind of hitting its stride right now. It's having a big moment nationally, and I think as it should.
I think that's extremely great advice because it is. It's really important to be able to balance things, but, to really take care of yourself in order to do that, because if you're looking after yourself, then you can do more out there. And I think that's a great tip to have, especially at your age, because I did not learn that until I was a lot older, because I thought, I can keep going. And I didn't really look after myself. And I wish I had thought of that years ago. So to have that at your age is absolutely extraordinary. You have an amazing support team behind you. And I just want to, do a big shout out to them because, I've been following you now for, oh my goodness, over a year, and everything that you've been doing. And, you've got a lot of people that are doing this with you. Can you just share a little bit about them? Because I think that they themselves are absolutely inspiring too.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely it takes a village. And I think my biggest supporters, this is pretty cliche, but has been my family. I think my parents have been so influential in, helping me with my, even in high school and pushing me to, achieve more and be involved in service. And I think, from a young age, my parents taught me the importance of, giving to charity and giving your time and volunteer work. And I think those values were definitely ingrained with me from a young age and have carried forward. And I think for that, I'm very, very grateful to my parents. And they continue to be so supporting and, switching my major and being, far away from home and school. And they've been so important. And, of course, my siblings. My sister did inspire special siblings, but she did also teach me, how to be a better person and how to look at someone based on who they are as an individual and not based on how they're different. And that's been so valuable. And then, of course, my team of special siblings, my board of directors, and all of my volunteers have been so helpful in helping me grow special siblings in Birmingham and then also get it started in Raleigh so that I can split my time has been absolutely amazing. And, peers at school and extended family, it takes a village, honestly.
It definitely does. And, I would always say to our listeners, I said you are absolutely extraordinary. The things that you're doing, the level of confidence that you have at your age, and to be able to do the things, it's just absolutely extraordinary. And I want to thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And I know that you're going to be doing so much in the future. We see so much. I see so much in you, and it blows my mind. I love talking to the young divas. You give me hope and you empower the world, and it's just, I love it. One of the things I want to say thank you to, and to our listeners, we've been doing a lot of amazing interviews in the last little while for our young divas, and Caitlin is going to be in our upcoming Young Divas That Care book, and we're so grateful that she wrote her story in that book because she is sharing with all of you. And what we're really excited about is that we have this compilation of amazing young divas, and all the proceeds go to different charities. So one of the things that we want to all of our listeners is to send their ideas for the charities that we're going to be sending out the proceeds of these books to. And I hope that you check them out, check out all these young divas, and support all the endeavors that they're doing.
Yeah,
so Caitlin, yeah, it is, isn't it? We're trying to impact the world. We're locking arms with one another, and I think it's so important to share as many stories as we can. And Caitlin, what is next for you? What is something that you're going to be doing? Because 2020 is coming up. Is there some things that are happening that you'd like to share with our listeners today?
Sure. Like I said, with Special Siblings, it's growing. We'll actually have our first official support group meeting in Raleigh in January, which is pretty exciting. And hopefully it'll go from there. My long-term goals with Special Siblings over 2020 is to focus a little bit more on the education aspect. The three pillars of Special Siblings are support, understanding, and acceptance. And we try to, empower the participants at the support group meetings to advocate not only for themselves and their siblings, but for, anybody who's different and their schools are being marginalized and bullied. But I think it's important, too, to go back to the schools themselves and kind of talk to them about how they are educating their young students about what are different special needs and how can we be good friends, because I think that would address a lot of the root issues with bullying towards special needs students. And so I'm going to try to pivot a little bit more towards that end of special siblings. And then additionally, you did mention that my goal is to be in medicine. And so this summer, I am lucky enough to be working in some independent research at a lab at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, studying the genetics of breast cancer metastasis or spread through the body, which is super exciting, especially as I'm studying genetics in school and I'm looking to go to med school in a couple of years. So I'm thrilled about that summer opportunity. But yeah, just in general, keeping my mind open to the opportunities. I don't want to get too narrow-minded about, what it is that I want and kind of close off potential opportunities. So I want to keep my mind open to different opportunities, new people, new places, and things like that. Just growing. Yeah, I'm excited for 2020.
I love it. It sounds like 2020 is going to be an extremely amazing year for you. And you know what? I can't wait to hear more about it. One of the things, I know that you're extremely busy. We had some technical difficulties in the beginning of our program, and you do have other places to go. But, I would love for you to come back on our program in 2020 to share some of these amazing things that are happening with you.
Thank you. I would love to be back.
Fantastic. Well, one of the things that we're going to be doing in 2020 for all our listeners is that we're going to be having a virtual summit for our young divas so that you can meet them and they can inspire and empower you to do the things that you want to do. Caitlin, I had such an amazing time. I know that you don't have a lot of time to chat with us today, but thank you so much for coming on the program. Good luck in 2020, and we will be chatting with you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to all of our amazing listeners. It's because of you we've been continuing to do our program for 10 years now, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I hope that you had an amazing Christmas season and you have an amazing 2020. So until next time, please do something kind for somebody out there. And we will be sharing all of Caitlin's amazing stuff on all of our social media. And you can check out our brand new platform that is going to be launched in 2020 at divasthatcare.com. So thank you to each and every one of you. I hope that you have a great day. Thank you, Caitlin. And until next time, take care. Bye for now.